Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well and welcome back. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. One of our viewers inside Campus TV asked if we can add the ability for users to follow each other. All right, so that's what we're going to be implementing in a couple of lessons going forward. Now, if we go to our forum right here, I created a view. So if we click on basically the viewer right here, you'll get to the page. You can see the latest threads right here, and you can able to see their profile right here. And underneath here, we can add a little button called follow. And if they're already following, they're going to get an unfollow button. All right. So whenever they create a new thread, a database notification needs to be sent to whoever follow them so that they can be able to go and read their latest thread. All right. So that's what we're going to be implementing. This view right here, obviously I'm not going for the prettiest design, just to kind of make that clear. Otherwise I will spend a whole lot of time basically on the design of the actual thing and not too much time actually preparing the course. All right, so if you want to style it a little bit better, you can do that, and this is just more or less the thing that I'm going for right now. All right, so this little page right here, this little HTML or blade template, I've gonna include it in your description. All right, so if you go to this description right there, you will see there is a link to this page right here. It's Google Drive, and you can just go and download the basically the zip file. Right, then you download it. All right, so I will quickly show you how to set this up, and so that we can actually get this whole thing functional. All right, let's go to our code editor and let's start from the beginning. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a controller for our profile. So let's do that. So open up your terminal and you're going to create a controller called PHP artisan make controller, and you're just going to make it the profile. But we're going to do it in the pages / profile controller like this. All right, and then you press enter. Right, so after you've done that, then you're going to go to app, HTTP, controllers, pages, and then you will see you have your profile controller right here. Now, inside your profile controller, you're only going to return one method, right? And it's going to return the show method right there. And you're going to basically bring in the user class, okay? And then you're going to return a view, and then you basically return the view, pages, profiles, dot show, and you compact, basically include the user right there with the compact method. So basically that's all you're going to do in this controller. Okay, so just make sure that you've done that. And then we're going to go to, just pause the video right here. Just make sure you have everything and make sure you import your user model right there. Okay, just make sure you import your user model, and obviously the view, and that right there. Obviously you don't need to do this, but yeah. Okay. All right, just pause the video, and then we're going to go to profile.show. All right, so the view that you downloaded right now, copy everything, and then you're going to go in your pages. You will see you create a new folder right there, and you go profiles, and then you have the show right there. Okay, in your show blade, basically that zip file, you paste everything in there like this. Okay, so then you're all done. All right, so just otherwise you have to type all of this again, and that will take too much time off the video. So that's why you can just download the zip file and just create a folder called profiles, and inside that profiles folder you just create a blade component, a blade view actually, of show.blade.php. Okay, then obviously that's the view that we're returning to with a compact of user. All right, awesome. Now the next part is we need to create a route. So let's open your web routes. All right, in your web route, so you're going to create a route for the profile, for the user to go to the profile. Okay, then we get a get route, and then we put in the user. All right, and / okay, with the user, and then you add the slug. Okay, then you do a profile controller class, and then you're going to go to the show, and we name that route profile. All right. Now we obviously have to change because the user by default doesn't have a slug. Okay. Now the reason for that is if someone has spaces or anything in their name, all right. So let's say they put in their username and they got some spaces right there. I want to. It's not. How can I put this? It's not URL friendly. It's not a good thing to have spaces in your URL. All right. So that's why I'm going to create a slug, but just for now, just bear with me. Okay. So we're going to get a get route user. We're going to get the slug profile, and then we're going to go to that show method right here, and that show returns the right view. Okay. Just make sure you copy this right. All right. So let's go to our app actions, Fortify. And in Fortify, we're going to create a new user right there. Okay. So this is the validation. Okay. So you don't change anything there. Now, when the user is created, just make sure that you add just this part right here. Okay. Just do this so it's easier to see. Okay. The slug right here will not be an input field. All right. So that field is not there. So just between your name and your email, you add a slug. You add the string slug with the input of that name right there. Okay, so after you finish that, save. Okay, so after that, now the next part that you want to do is, let's say you want to go to your database migrations, and you're going to go to your user migrations table right here. Then you just add a string for the slug right there. Okay. That's the next part. You just add the table column for your slug. Okay, so after that, you're going to go to your factories, to your user factory. Then we add a slug for our factory as well. And then in our database for the user seeder, I'm just adding for all the users that I have, I just add for them slugs like this when I save the database. All right. So that way we've got URL friendly usernames. So let's say someone registered a name and they've got spaces and things like that in the name. It's not going to create a problem. All right. So after that, then we're all set up. So now we've got our profiles.show. So let's go to basically our resources, views, pages, and our threads.show right here. Now threads.show, now we need to be able to go to that route where we just created that profile right there. All right. Now, as you guys can remember, all right, so we got our, let me just go to the show view right here. Let me just show you the show view is basically this view right here. Okay. And the index view is this one right here. Okay. Now, both of them is making use of the user's avatar, this one right here. Okay. So if we go there, you will see that you're making use of the same avatar. All right. And it's this one right here, the user avatar. So if you go inside the user avatar, right, you will see this was a button. Okay, so this would have been a button like this. It doesn't have an href. I just changed it to an anchor tag with an href. Now the href will basically go to that route, the profile.show. Then I'll just pass in the user variable like this. Okay, so that's all I do. So I just change the button to an anchor tag and an anchor tag with an href, and an href to that route of profile, okay, that we just created in our web route. This one, the name profile right there, okay, is what I'm referencing here, and then we just pass in the user like that, okay. So then you just save that. What that does, it gives us the ability, so if we click on that, we can actually go to that user's profile. All right, so underneath here, we will obviously add the follow and the unfollow button in the coming lessons, okay? And underneath that as well, we will have, if the user is a moderator or an admin, okay, then when they view the person's profile, they can actually be able to ban the user, okay, or unban the user. Okay, so we will add that functionality in there as well. But for now, we just want to implement the users to be able to follow one another. Okay. So if the user is in their own profile, now in this case, Maya is not in her own profile. Okay, so if we go to Maya, so as you can see, this is her post. So if we clicked on her profile, you will see she will still be able to have the edit and delete on her latest threads, but she will not be able to follow herself. So that button we need to hide if it's on her own profile. Okay, so that's just basically the setup before we can actually implement what we want to do. So yeah, all right, so that's it for this one. So in the next one, we will be gonna be implementing the follow functionality. Okay, so this was just an easy way just for us to get to this part right here where we can actually just implement the follow and unfollow functionality. But now the other problem is I want to show you as well. Now, if we go to, let's go to our profile.show, you will see we make user.late or get the latest threads of that user. All right. Now, the thing is, we haven't created that functionality, that method inside our user model. So let's quickly do that. All right. So in our user model right here, we're going to create a public function called latest threads. All right. So that's the method that we call upon when we get this user.latest threads. Okay. So that's the one that you're going to, the one that you downloaded. Everything is perfect as is. Don't change anything in there unless you want to change the styling or whatever you want to do. Okay. So in our user model, we're going to get the latest threads on you can in the integer. If you decide you want to make it 10, you can make it 10. All right. So that's just a rough one right now. Then it returns the latest, the threads relation. All right. Is this relation right here? Then we're just going to get the latest and then we limit and we get them. All right. So just make sure you create this. Okay. Just pause the video. Then copy this, right? And the delete threads, we need to iterate over the threads and delete them individually, like this. Okay. The next thing is that threads relation that we're calling on there. Okay. So just make sure that you have this as well. Make sure you import the has many on the top and the thread class right there. Count the threads, replies. Okay. Then latest replies. But I'm not sure if I want to implement this as well. So for now, if you want to, you can implement it on your own, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep the latest threads. All right. And the other one is delete replies, count replies, and replyable. It's basically the same thing for the threads. Okay. So you can copy and make sure you have all of this. But in order for what are we going to do to work, all right, just make sure that you include this part right here. The threads, latest threads, delete threads, and threads relation. Just make sure you have these copied in. Okay. The rest of them you don't need for now. So just pause the video right here and just make sure you copy them over. All right. So what we're going to do in the next one is we need to be able to set this whole part up where the users can be able to follow one another and actually go to their profiles and things like that. All right. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like the video, please give it a like. If you don't think this is unnecessary or whatever the case might be, please give it a dislike or saying, please don't do this or whatever you want to do. All right. So if you think it's unnecessary or it's useful or anything like that, please let me know in the comment section. All right. And if I only get likes, I will continue with the series. And if I get dislikes, I will, and if it's half and half, I will decide if I want to continue or not. All right. Thank you guys and see you in the next one. Goodbye.